Hey guys, I'm trying to fix it here and I should have it fine in a couple seconds, so just bear with me. If you guys can hear me, just um, type into the chat there so I know. Thanks. Are you hearing me okay, cuz? Perfect. 2 seconds there. Alright, so as I was saying before, now I've got the same problem again. It says skip frames detected 25% over last 2 minutes a few seconds ago. Alright, let's hope that this works. I didn't have it before, but it seems like it's not going to go away. So hopefully we are able to do at least one flight in. We are doing the New Zealand tour with my virtual airline, Fly UK. So we will be going from, let me just pull that up again, NZTK. Can't remember what that is, so I'll pull it for you in a second. New Zealand Explorer. Right, so this is Takaka, and we are going to be going to Nelson. So NZTK to NZNS. We are in the Cessna 172 with the G1000. I'm not too familiar with the glass cockpit, but I prefer it over the steam gauges. So there might be a little bit of fumbling, but hopefully it's not going to be too bad. Cheers, guys. Unfortunately, when I was trying to get a meter for the airport, um, there wasn't anything available, so it looks like it's a little bit of clouds that we're gonna have to fly through. SimBrief had given us a low altitude, but I know there's some mountains in the area, so I'm gonna fly higher than I would normally fly. It's not going to be a direct, unfortunately, because of the same mountains. So basically we are going to fly over, we're going to fly inland for a bit rather than going across the coast, and then we're going to fly back to the coast to Nelson. So it's going to be roughly about 40 minutes or so. SimBrief gave us an altitude of 2,000 feet. There's no way that I'm going to be flying that at 2,000 feet. So we'll probably go up to about maybe either 6,000 or 8,000, but we'll see as it goes along. So let's get in and unpause our tracker here and get ready to go. Just priming for a few seconds. I'm sorry for this guy here, but there's no way around him, so we're gonna go through him.
System test. Okay.
Perfect. I couldn't find anything. Michael and myself, we checked, and it just says no meter in the area. Um, I don't think we're close to any big airports. Nope. The closest airport is going to be Westport, it looks like, and that's pretty much on the eastern side of the island. We are in the middle. There's Wellington, that's a bit to the north, but that's still quite a bit of distance, so whatever they have probably wouldn't really pertain to us. We've got the good old Control B, or Shift B rather, for the altimeter, so we'll just play it by ear, and if it is too bad, we'll just find somewhere else to go. Alright, avionics on. Now this is not going to be A2A quality, so but I find that I still have a bit of fun with it, so I'm gonna set it for 8,000. Gonna do initially a vertical climb of say 500 feet, 600 feet is fine. Beacon should have been on, it was not. Alright. There's absolutely no way around this guy from this point. I've got pushback express, which works with any aircraft, but it's just going to, let's give it a go. Let's see. Now, because I've already got my engine started, it's only going to be a pain in the backside. Hey Mike, how's it going? No, there isn't like that. What it does have is I can go in here and I can see the weather basically, but it's more of me either changing up the weather to suit myself or just going with the live weather as it has here. So I don't have that option, but it's clear enough, so like it's not heavy overcast, so I'm not too worried, and it can always change to instrument flying if need be. It's not really that big a thing. Mike, help! I've got if the stream drops in quality, let me know. I'm showing that I've got skip frames detected 40%, 47% over the last 2 minutes a few seconds ago, it's saying. So I'm hoping that it doesn't really. So why not? That's just above the airport here. I filed a IFR flight plan though, so it doesn't really make much of a difference to me. I think the airport has, yeah, the airport has instrument approaches as well, so I'm not really too bothered. I was just hoping that it was good enough that we could see the terrain, but it looks like just for this part, for the departure, we're probably going to be in clouds. We are going to take off, make inland, and then we're then going to proceed back to the coast. So hopefully inland is a bit better, but we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna move over this guy. Sorry, guy. Roadkill. I haven't changed my settings, so my controls are a bit on the sensitive side. Michael, I'm gonna have to pick your brain to get help with this. I'm just gonna do a run up right about here. Blow the galvanize off the vehicles behind us. The tracker on this is really screwy. It's not the worst, but like if I turn, I have this much, but usually like in P3D I can actually see a little bit behind me before the camera meets its limit, so tracker yard meets its limit, so I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna do our run up 1700 RPMs. And we're gonna do our magneto check. Oh, that was the brakes. I meant to move the yoke. Come on. If I take my foot up, I'm gonna keep my foot on the brakes. Okay. We've got a drop of 80. Go back. 1700 again. Left magneto. We've got a drop 80 there as well. And then we go idle, see if she idles. And she does. I still don't get how limited travel these controls have before they are at the extremities. Alright, so let's see here. When I started it, Michael, it didn't work for about 20 seconds. I could see just one light on, like what you had showed me, but when it was actually going to shut it down, it then started moving. So it might be that it's just a bit of a delay before it comes on. In P3D it's instant. I would assume it's the same in XP as well, but the only thing is that I probably have to change the parameters for this for MFS, and I'm not too keen on doing that because I hardly fly MFS, so I don't want to change it here and then it changes everything in P3D. So let's see what runway did SimBrief give us. Runway 18, direct to corner, VOR. Then do the corner 1A arrival into runway 202. Could it be that you have your lights at is affected by the light source in the room. Cause I know like my the way that I'm facing is I'm facing the back of my house, and the sun sets in the back of my house. So if the sun is coming up, I then have the flipping and stuff like that. I actually have to drop the blinds to stop it. So it's either your light source, or as you said, it might be damaged. Alright, so we're doing runway 18. It's an offline flight, so I am never flying the same with these default aircraft on VATSIM. It's not gonna happen. Landing light on, strobes on. Yes, sweetie. I'm streaming. Okay. And you've done the updates. I don't care if it's a Cessna, the A2A. If you flew the A2A, you would know exactly what I mean. I'm always scared that if I touch the brakes too much, this thing is just gonna flip over on its head. You should see me trying to land the thing and it's all over the place. But literally, if I turn my yoke halfway, I've already got full deflection. Whatever. Alright, let's send this thing. Autopilot on, off. Yeah, my pedals are way too sensitive. Whoa. Oh my days. I'm pretty sure if anyone was on board, they pretty much shit themselves. That was horrible. That was absolutely Flaps coming up. Just gonna get some altitude before I go back on this thing. Because I am a little bit concerned that that mountain is way too high. It's not bad for VFR though. Yeah, it probably was. It wasn't a windsock. I don't remember seeing one anyways. I'm gonna take the scenic route. Now if P3D looked like this, I'd be over the moon. What I find though is sometimes along the coast, the sea actually, they have this kind of artificial wave thing where the sea looks like it's I think I can risk the autopilot on now. I think it's VNAV on this one. And I'll increase the rate a bit. Sometimes when you're coming in from the sea looks fine, but where the sea meets the sand, it looks a bit meh. But for the most part, I really love how this sim actually looks. It's Bing photos they're using, so sometimes they're not the greatest. There is an option to use Google Maps, but that's too much work for me. I just want to get in and fly. I'm getting slow, so I'm gonna reduce the pitch a bit. I wanted to do the Airbus, but I'm not very comfortable with that. That plane makes me swear each time I take it up. The last time I did take it up though, I did get quite far. The only issue was that there was, my instruments became, how to put it, they disappeared on me. And then I had a first officer in the seat and I had a captain in the seat. It was just weird. But it is flying. It's like I said, it's the furthest I've gotten on that plane, because usually once I get into the climb, it disappoints and then I have to I just end it. Whereas on that last flight I actually made it close to top of descent, but once the buttons disappeared there was no way for me to initiate descending, change my speeds and stuff like that, so I just abandoned it. Alright, we take off our landing lights, we can take off our taxi light as well. .30 miles to the next waypoint. and we're climbing through 4,000. I don't know why SimBrief gave us an altitude of 2,000, because there's no way that I could fly this route at 2,000 feet. Yeah, I would never get tired of these views. The clouds I'm not too fond of. Michael likes them, but for me, I think Active Sky has spawned me a bit, and Cloud Art. Now, that's not to say that Active Sky doesn't have its limitations, but I think these look a little bit too cottony for me and wispy at the same time. It's like, if I'm looking at it, it looks kind of pixelated. I see like how they're doing. It's like they're morphing, and then I don't know if it's because of the distance, but I should still see those little clouds that just disappeared. I'm not going that fast. I'm gonna freeze my track IR. Actually, let me pitch down a bit. Let's do it at 400 feet per minute. 400 feet per minute is kind of decent. Alright, so let me pause my track IR. Perfect, that's me pause. And then my screen isn't moving up and down every time I move my head. That's one thing about track IR in this sim that I don't like. In the other sims, or with Chase Plane, I can disable the track IR for the external views. I can't in this, or I haven't figured it out as yet. No, it's not. But if it's like really overcast and you're going through it, like sunset, it's really, really beautiful. Hey Chris, welcome to the channel. I'm the same. I've had this from launch and I was really, really excited about it, but the aircrafts have been a big letdown. The most flying that I actually do, I do enjoy the GA flying. But for the jetliners, it's a no for me. Every now and then I take up the Neo. I've tried the Dreamliner. It's horrible on frames for me. I tried the 747. I didn't like that, and that's saying a lot, but the 747 is my favorite wide body jet. And I pretty much just stick with this aircraft right here, the Cessna 172. And if you're doing a lot of GA flying, then you'll definitely enjoy it in this more than if you have P3D, more than P3D. I enjoyed flying in GA and P3D because I have orbits, but most of the airports that I do on my flying club tours with the virtual airline, they pretty much just like default airports that you're flying into. And while I might have the land class for orbits, it's not really great. So if I have like a load of GA flying to do, I didn't even realize I went off route. If I have a load of GA flying to do, I will actually do it in MFS. But if I have a lot of jet flying to do, P3D is my sim of choice. I have explained, but I've never actually done a good flight in X-plane because I tried my hand at ortho and it's just way over my head. Michael gave me some lessons. We actually had a classroom, actual stocky gaming, Michael and myself, and Michael was the teacher, and it just wasn't working for me. So I'm hoping that the CRJ comes out soon, because if it does, I would definitely be in this a lot more than in P3D. I was looking in the marketplace and there's so many discounts at this time of the year with the MFS add-on sceneries from Flight Beam and stuff like them. And the highest price I actually saw was one for like 19 euros. So pimping out MFS is definitely going to be significantly cheaper than pimping out P3D. Bear me 2 seconds. Someone is asking how to get to my stream, so I'm just sending them the link. What sim do you use, Chris? So guys, if you're just joining, we are doing some GA flying in New Zealand. We are going, or we've just left rather, um, Takaka, which is November Zulu Tango Kilo, and we're going to Nelson Airport. These are all regional. Well, I don't want to say regional. This last one that we came from was kind of like a very, I don't know what to even call it. It's not even like an FBO. It's just like a little strip, and then a few buildings there. I'm not sure if that's how it looks in real life. But we are going from one very small airport to another small airport. Depending on the time, we might go from Nelson to Blenheim. They're all quite short flights, but I'll file VFR for the main reason that I can't get METARs for them. So I'm actually on an IFR flight plan. I'll fly in a little bit and then we'll fly back to the coast and then do our landing. And depending on time, we might get another one in, or this might just be it. No worries, Michael, welcome back. Wait, what do you mean at work? I thought you were on vacation. And that's 8,000 feet coming up. I actually forgot to reset my altimeter, so I'm actually a little bit over 8,000. Seems to be a bit bumpy. You shouldn't have uninstalled P3D. I mean, like, I was one of the guys that was full on the hype. And did I, did I, I'm studying. I think I actually did uninstall P3D, but I went back to it quite quickly. Um, that's before they had fly-by-wire and stuff like that. But like, there's some guys that are flying the other jets, like the corporate jets. I know Michael fly those. Um, XP, I've seen him flying the 787. I'm not sure if he has a really good computer. I didn't take the opportunity to look at the specs, but except for the weird handling characteristics for the approach, it's really a good sim. I mean, like, if you look at this, people spend loads of money in P3D to have something looking like this. And even though Orbits does a good job, Orbits looks nothing like this, no matter what they do. I mean, True Earth looks quite good, but to me, True Earth is a little bit heavy on the greenish look. For XP, this actually looks like Orthro because they use pretty much the same imagery if you're using the Bing photos for Orthro. The downside is that you have to know what you're doing in Orthro, which I didn't, to get your sim like this. And the big disadvantage of having Orthro like this is you need a lot of space, whereas this is, my sim is default. You can't get more default than this. I have no add-ons in my sim at all, and this is just how it comes. There's no sim on earth at the moment that's gonna look like this out of the box. Is it perfect? Not even close, but it gives us a good base to start with. And I'm not promoting MFS over XP or over P3D. Is just truth to facts. You're not gonna find a sim looking like this in the beginning. The clouds I hate. I can't stand the clouds. And when Active Sky comes, I'll be the first person to purchase Active Sky. But some people like the look. There are some times during the day that the clouds do look quite nice, but at this moment what I'm looking at, I don't like it. But if I didn't have any clouds right now and I was just taking in the scenery, I'm stoked. Oh, nice. I'm from Barbados and I'm living in Ireland, so I'm living not too far from you. I'm in Southern Ireland, so I'm in Cork. I actually went when I was living in Barbados and I was doing flight training for my PPL. I went to Huronora, then from Huronora to Grenada, and then Grenada back. That was my 3-point cross country. Let's unfreeze this. I'm gonna take my range out a bit. Come on. There we go. So that's what we're doing. Corner VRR and then We are going to fly into the airport. They've already put the star in, it looks like. I'm gonna put in Navigraph just so that I have an idea of what I'm actually doing. Yeah, cause we're literally pretty much the same distance. I mean, like, St. Lucia was what, 99 miles? Well, Huronora is 99 miles. I'm not sure if he's by the Castries end or Huronora, but I think it was like just around 99 miles. And I think that UK is pretty much the same, or maybe just slightly over. I'm not 100%. So let's see here. I've got Christchurch as an alternate, which is where I am with my other virtual airline. Alright, so we're going to be doing runway 2. I actually did a Caribbean Airlines stream on a Sunday. I took off from Trinidad with Caribbean Airlines Dash 8. Well, they had the 300s. We don't have a 300 in P3D, so I did the Majestic Q400. The thing is that I don't know. There's very few developers that have actually given any kind of love to Caribbean, which is kind of disappointing because I think that the best flying that you can actually have in the world is in the Caribbean. Um, I might be biased, I don't know, but I just find that from my own experience, I've flown in the Caribbean with Trans Island Air, who is now Grenadine Airlines. I used to work for them, so I could hop on their plane, and once my shift was over, I can hop on the plane with them and fly wherever they're going. We used to fly to Union Island, we used to fly to St. Vincent, Mustique, all those places, and I used to actually just like go there just to have dinner. I always used to go for like conch rotis and stuff like that, the good old days. And I've also flown it, like I said, when I was doing my training. So I've done cross countries to St. Lucia. I've done cross country to Grenada. I've flown to Mustique. I had to had help landing there with my instructor because you have to have a special rating to land there. And I've also flown in the States. I've flown in Daytona. I've flown in North Carolina. I've flown in Atlanta. And the only actual flight that have come close to the Caribbean flying is the one in Florida where you're going into Daytona and you just got to pass that patch of water before you go in. But every place in the Caribbean is islands, so you've got the overwater flying and then you've got coming into land and the transitioning. It's really nice, and I haven't experienced it anywhere else. Now, someone that's probably done bush flying in Africa might say it differently, but that's just my take on it at the moment. get an idea of when I'm gonna start my descent. Okay, so I am 6 miles from that next waypoint. I am actually gonna start. Oh my god, check this. Yee. It's not flat, is it? Alright, let's see here. For the RNAV approach, this is where I'm gonna show up my inexperience with this aircraft. Alright, so let's see. Procedure. Select approach. Is it RNAV to Y I'm gonna go for? Yeah, do the Y instead of the Z. It's fine. And then it asks me to load or activate. This part is where I actually suffer. Yep, I knew that was gonna happen. Enter. I did this the other day and I can't remember exactly how I did it. Alright, let me try it again. No, that's not happening. Yeah, I will buy the CRJ for the for MFS. If not, I'm never gonna fly in it until probably PMDG comes out, because that's the next one close on the heels. Either that or quality wings. Michael, help me here. How the hell do I activate or just load the approach actually? This is for MFS, or is this for P3D, Chris? Alright, you know what? I'll just do it manually. So I'm doing 3,900 feet. Yes. And let's hope we don't run into any mountains on the way down. And I am going to abandon this thing. And I just manually fly it. Why is there another aircraft on my GPS? Enter, enter, enter. I have no idea how to activate this. Yeah, I did push the procedure button, Michael. It just keeps doing the same thing over and over. So when I push the procedure button, it brings it back up. It just brings it back up. I hit enter, enter, procedure again. It just does the same thing over and over. Alright, so at Islap I need to be at 1970. And this isn't even doing that. This is doing the blah blah. Alright, I'm actually going to take off the autopilot and just hand fly it down. I'm not 100% sure. It says load or activate, but it doesn't allow me to scroll down on it. It doesn't allow me to do anything. I'm scrolling down, nothing is happening. If I push enter on the if I push in the procedure button, what if it's pull? Ah, there we go, load. I was there just now. Load. Yeah, I'm way off. It's strange because I was doing that all the time and nothing was happening. Oh well, live and learn. Yeah, it's been doing. I kid you not, Michael. The whole time I was pushing in the procedure button, I was scrolling down, and it would only stop at the either Y or the Z approach. It would not click in the load thing, and I'm looking at this clause and I'm like, Jesus, I am screwed. I'm really trying not to buy anything at the moment, Chris, but I'm gonna look into it. Jagan. Is that Guyana? Yeah. How is it looking? Guyana was one of the airports that I wanted for P3D, and they never did. I don't think anyone ever did a version for Guyana. Alright, so this is Mi Bev. Mi Bev is 3900. And then from Mi Bev we're gonna go to Artlit, which is also 3900. Then we're gonna drop down to 1700 for Islop. And then from Islop we're gonna go to Patru, which is gonna be our misapproach point. We've got MDA of 490 feet for B aircraft. C is 560. I'm gonna go with the higher one, 560. I got a feeling he's gonna want to go back to Kivot, so I am gonna see if I can get him to go to Artlit. Oh damn it, I really hate the zoom feature on this. You're not helping right now. OT. Give me a minute, guys. This thing's gonna drive me nuts. Come on. I should just give up on this one. Enter. Activate. Alright, looks like we got it. Yeah, I saw Dublin from MK Studios. I definitely have to get Dublin. The Dublin in MFS isn't too bad though. It's just the buildings are awful looking. Almost warehouse-ish like. Also, I think that with the airports in... Do I have to activate this again? Procedure. Yeah, I gotta do it. I'm gonna go activate approach. Select approach. Activate the approach. My next altitude is going to be 1700 feet. There's no way that I was going to land in this. Not VFR. How is it on frames? I want them to make a Cork as well. Cork is my home airport, and the in P3D, I think the developers was AirSim or something like that, and they developed it for FS9. Yeah, it's really beautiful. I could have actually done a VFR flight for the most part. Like I was saying a bit earlier, Michael, I find that some of the airports when you're coming in over water, the water looks really beautiful, but when you get to the transition between water and land, it looks like they have a fake wave line. It looks horrible, but it's not all over. I've only seen it in New Zealand. I haven't seen it in the Caribbean. Look at that. I kid you not, when I'm doing this, this brings me back to my flight training days. You see like how this waterway here looks? I don't know if it's because of my settings. But it's still lovely. And it's using minimum space on my computer. I'm definitely gonna look them up, Chris, man. Thanks for that. Alright, let's see if we can find this airport and get down. So we're approaching Islap. Islap, I'm supposed to be at 1700. And then from there go down to 900, where it's my minimum decision altitude. I think this is a tarmac runway, so it shouldn't be as hard to find as the grass runways. That's light on. Landing light on. Absolutely beautiful. And then from here we're going down to 900 feet. Like you see like the waterways here, like the sand looks kind of greenish. This is why I'm referring to, but this is like from Bangkok. You can see like water there, but then you've got this stuff here. But that's just me nitpicking, I guess. Okay, down to 900. And let's look for this runway. And it's directly ahead of us there. Alright, so autopilot off. I will message you guys when I'm on the ground. Flaps 1. Flaps 2. I keep forgetting which way is the flaps. And that's full flaps. Flight director off. I would love to do this approach in real life. Yeah, I'm not even gonna touch my rudders, they're way too sensitive. Yeah, I can't play with this runway either, it's really short. And we are down. Flights coming up, there's actually a plane here. That's why it was showing up on my GPS. I forgot I had traffic actually turned on. But there's a plane over there. Strobes off. Landing off. Ooh. Maybe on it's off. I love how this comes up now at the end of a flight. It didn't used to do that before. And that's it. Let's see, what did I miss? Yeah, Mike, I'm nitpicking, I know. Cheers, guys. Yeah, that's one of the things that I like about MFS. I mean, like, I'm running Ultra, and by their standards, I have a low end computer. And the only thing that I've actually turned down was my, what you call it? I think it's the rendering. I've actually turned that down to 80, but everything else I've left up to about 200. I haven't changed anything on the clouds. I've turned off my traffic, well, except for this flight. But I mean, like, even if you put aside the few things that I've been nitpicking at, it's still a very decent thing. This is a default airport, and I have no problem landing at something that looks like this. Now, P3D on the other hand, they've got their mildew buildings and stuff like that. I can't deal with that. These look like an actual building, and at some airports it might actually look like that. So, like, as far as the default goes, I mean, like, given the price of the add-ons, you can get scenery for 10 euros. When you look at the P3D, and I'm not harping on P3D, it's just the only thing that I really have as a reference for the main reason that it's all that I've flown before MFS, and P3D, FSS, whatever you want to call it, it's the same thing. A decent scenery for P3D costs you 35, about 35 euros and up. That's three sceneries in MFS. I think the most expensive scenery I've seen so far in MFS is by Imagine Sim, which is Atlanta. That's for £19. If you've had Flight Beam, you're spending something like seven US dollars for a scenery. So yes, you're gonna have to spend some money to get some of the airports that you want until they probably update them again. But even so, you're gonna find that no matter how detailed Bing might be on airports, you're not gonna have the kind of quality that you will have from a developer who went at the airport, took pictures from different angles. Um, so, take for example for this, you'll notice that these are solid structures. There's no drive through in between. There's no going into a hangar. There's nothing like that. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, my frames on this is, I don't know what it is right now, but I've been getting something like 22, 23 thereabouts, and I'm streaming at the same time. I have no issues. Put MF P3D with 20 frames you get out of London Heathrow, and your your fans in your computer is making more noise than the aircraft that you're actually flying, and then it's ticking. One thing that I love about this is there's no blending of textures as well if you're flying at nighttime, or where you have the dusk, or you have dawn. Those are the hardest times that you get hit in P3D, as it relates to your performance. Anytime that you're flying in that time with a good quality aircraft, I guarantee you that you're going to be looking at frames in the low 20s and sometimes in the teens if you're in 4 point 5. If you're in P3D V5, there with the DX12, these frames are measured a little bit different, but you can't set your GPU and leave it be to its own devices because you're going to run into CTD. So a lot of people take for granted that this sim is only what 3 months old, 3 4 months old, and they compare it to sims that have been out for years. I mean, like, granted, P3D V5 is new, but it is still FSS at its core, which was from 2006. So they've had 14 years of developing the sim to get it where it is now. MFS has had 4 months, and they've already surpassed the level, in my opinion, at where P3D is, and even XP. Now, if you had a fully ortho XP, and then you throw in some free airports, because they have quite a few airports, you'll be coming close to the quality that you have in MFS, but you won't have the performance. You've got Vulkan that helps, but until you have probably maybe XP13, there's no way that that can even walk in the MFS shadow. Look, Chris, I try to keep it real. I mean, like, we all have our preferences, and I'm the sort of person that I don't have shares in any of them. It doesn't benefit me to promote one over the other. I call it as I see it. All three sims can be frustrating because of their limitations. I can look at XP. I hate XP clouds. I hate that you got to use something like Enviro and then it still doesn't give you the quality that you're looking for. I love XP nights. I hate the glow of the light, the lamps. I love the Zebo plane, though it's kind of weird for me the way that because I'm accustomed to how they to activate controls in FSX. I think that not FSX, well, FSX and P3D, I struggle a lot with controls in XP. Whereas even with MFS, I can't put the flaps down without actually looking at it because I'm so conditioned to pushing down on my yoke for the button for the flaps in P3D, which does the opposite in both. So there are things like that that is more mental than anything else. But when you look at it, there's no such thing as a perfect sim. A perfect sim is what is perfect for you. And you have to compare apples to apples. You can't say XP is better than MFS, a sim that is out for 3 years, compared to a sim that's out for 6 months. You haven't given it a chance. Give it the same amount of time, and I guarantee you that as that SDK is developed by Asobo, that MFS is going to get better from here on out. There is no sim that has been able to give me the experience that this is giving me in its own vanilla form. If you're looking at where I'm parked right now, I mean, like, that's horrible. There's no airport. It looks like my daughter got loose with a crayon and just went wild on the tarmac. You would never see an airport looking like this. Does it take away from the immersion? Just slightly. It's not a biggie. Because nobody flies a sim for parking marks and stuff like that. You fly a sim to push yourself, immerse yourself into the hobby, so to speak. You're more interested in flying, and everything is gonna have a little thing that nudges at you. But that approach that I just did, I was like, I ignored all you because I was concentrating so much on the thing because it's so sensitive. But as I've told Michael, every time that I pick up this sim and I do a GA flight, it just takes me back to 2010 when it was actually flying. There is no sim to date that has actually given me that feeling. I can slap orbits into P3D. I can slap ortho in, and it might give me a little bit of from just the takeoff. But that approach with zero storage on my hard drive, that's golden, man. But anyways, I am really grateful for the company that you guys give me today. Flying, this is my second stream, and it wasn't as weird for me as I thought it would be. I guess once you do have the company and good discussion, it does go a long way. I will be doing streams more often. How often I cannot say. I don't want to schedule because I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I know Michael is going to be simming a little bit later. Yeah, the controls is I think the controls is my biggest issue at the moment. And I use TrackIR. There's no sim that I'm flying for TrackIR. With X-Plane it's a bit funny. I have to load TrackIR before I actually load X-Plane. P3D I can load it at any time. It's even funny in this because if I go into the sim right now, I can't take the minute that I take TrackIR off my head. This is what I get. Whereas with in P3D, if I take it off my head, it automatically goes back to this view and it freezes. Cheers, man. Like I said, I don't know when next I'm going to stream. It's always going to be probably short notice, because my life is a little bit unpredictable. I've got a family, um, I've got a dog, I've got fish that I have to take care of now. So it's only as time allows that I'm actually going to be able to pop on the stream. But if you guys like the content, hit me up with a subscribe, share if you feel that is worth sharing. If you don't, that's okay. Let me know what you didn't like, and I'll be happy to take it on board and try to make it better. It is my second stream. A lot of nerves over here, so whew, it's finally over. But I did enjoy it, so thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And if I don't get to chat to you before the new year, I'm wishing you all the best for the holidays, and hopefully this corona pandemic will be something of the past in the not so distant future, and we'll be able to celebrate 2021 much more than we did with 2020. Yeah, we do, Chris. So um I guess that is going to be not goodbye but farewell for now. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will catch you on the flip side. See ya.